Norwich City are a team always stuck between the Premier League and the Championship, or they were under Daniel Farke, but he's now a Leeds United man. Now they're fending for themselves under new management, but it's not going well because they sit 10th in the Championship with a team that's not worthy of promotion. As the squad is getting older, it was old when they even reached the Prem for the first time. However, money moves are being made. You can see they're trying to turn the tide. Players such as Matej Jurasek, the exciting young Czech Republican, has joined the Canaries, so we're gonna try and keep the theme going today. As I am scouting loads of players from all over overseas, whilst in the Championship, no one over 70 rated shall be signed, but hopefully by the Champions League, we can lift a title with a very young grown team. As yes, people, here we go. Another yellow club. We've done Dortmund and Norwich, but this is going to be a little different. Unlike with Borussia Dortmund, where we only use the academy, here at Norwich City, we can only buy academy prospects from other clubs, so no using our youth squad anyway, or scouts. They're only 2-star. Lucas Young, not looking too good. As this team, well, I said it wasn't Premier League worthy, maybe a little bit harsh. It's not up to scratch where I expect Norwich City to be from previous years. There is some youngsters like Callum Doyle who I would love to actually keep hold of, but then there's the likes of Shane Duffy, who's quite old, Kenny McLean, Onel Hernandez, 31, and if this guy actually goes off TikTok, he maybe could focus on actually being a Premier League player one day. I'm only messing, as these are the ratings of the players. I talked on Jurasek, but he's not the highest rated. We have this Spaniard, Borja Sainz, who has ripped the Championship to shreds. I really want to get this guy scoring. Same as Josh Sargent for now. I can't believe he's 24 still. Jonathan Rose only out on loan, but I think if we don't reach the Premier League, he could be a player that leaves us for definite. And now I am looking at 70 rated, but like I said, the rule in the Championship is no one over 70 rated, only once we reach the Prem, because I want to get some hidden gems in, and we need to know the positions we need rid of. It's centre-back mostly. Defensive players, definitely a goalkeeper. Angus Gunn is our best one, but he's 28, 6'5". Is the Scotland international, but I don't really see myself using him for a long time. So onto the transfer list they go. I think the rule is in this rebuild. For me anyway, if they go over the age of 28, they're out of here. Giving us a time limit for this rebuild, but still £11 million to start off with. Not what I expected at Norwich, as firstly we've got to check the team that's here. As in fact, after putting it straight together, this team looks very young. Apart from the goalkeeper, look at the ages. We've got a lot of 20-year-olds, 21s, and it doesn't look half bad. I think our strike force is perfect. Our midfield maybe could do with work, but defense is definitely where we strengthen. Doyle, I'm keeping my eye on him because I know he can play left back. That leaves two key positions, in goal and in centre back. But first, before any tactics as well, I want to sell a few older players in order to get this team improved, and both goalkeepers should be going out. But the first one's Shane Duffy, and he's going to Hellas Verona FC. Again, we're not desperate for the money, as Angus Gunn to Genoa, Kenny McLean to Stade Brestois, extending our budget to 21 million, and I have 3 players in mind, all under 70 rated, and the first stop is a Brazilian goalkeeper. Need to recreate the likes of Alisson and Diego Calai at Sporting Lisbon, 19, really good, has a release clause, and signs a long-term deal with the club, so I'm very happy to have him on board. And now for 2 defenders, as you can see them both on screen at the moment. Albert Bial looks a great defender from Juve, but Tobias Ramirez Cardozo, this man we had to pay the release clause off because he looks so goddamn special. 17-year-old, almost hitting the 70 mark. And then Bial joins him for £3 million still. So yes, 3 young players, but they've not been cheap altogether. And here's how it looks after season number 1, with a bit of strengthening to the defense, and I don't mind it. Ramirez Cardoso, 73 rated. Unbelievable. Switch sides with Cordoba, the Panamanian, I think that's how you actually say it, who's 73 himself, as well as the keeper. And Bow's done pretty well. We have changed Tommy Doyle to a left back. We changed Gibbs to a CDM, but I do want to change this team up again, because looking at it on the bench, we've got a really good Cam in Schwaratu, if I've said that name correctly, and Forsen looks better attacking wise. Maybe I've made an instant mistake. Maybe we should have actually been 3 at the back, or at least add some more positions for the wings, because I know wingers are good potentially in the future, because because I've got a lot of them lined up. Plus, we've got good ones at the club. So maybe this is what we could do. We could have Forsen on the left, Biao on the right, sign a new central midfielder as Borja Sainz is our best player, and I love that you can see the growth again. +5. Got that special something. As our oldest players at the club now is Josh Sargent, the striker. Maybe need to sign one of them again. And Marcelinho Nunez, the centre mid. Also got Johnny Rowe, who was out on loan, as statistically, well, Sargent scored a lot of goals, but I'm still thinking about replacing him, you know. With a striker I have in mind, if we haven't reached the Premier League and we're not even in the playoffs, it's a decent enough first season still. We won more games than we lost, and I can be happy about that at least, as Oxford beat us in the FA Cup. Definitely not happy about that one though. And the Carabao quarter-finals, so we should get a bigger budget next year, despite not being able to sign some players of a high rating, which is a shame, as we even saved 8 million after contracts, after everything. So next season we've got to make sure we reach the Premier League, but we're trying to reach something else. Thank you so much guys for 50k subscribers, but we're on the race to 60k, and if you could leave a like, that really does help the channel out big time. As here we go, we're into this next season, and now I'm going to make this bench Danish player a left wing backup. Make Forsen our left mid. He is left footed. It only takes 2 weeks for him. And actually Bao I thought could be a right mid, but he can actually train as a centre back, which I didn't think would be the case. And plus we do have Jonathan Rowe back from loan, who we could keep for maybe 1 season if we don't reach the Premier League. I think he'll stay for 1 more year if he's loyal enough, as now we know which positions we need. Definitely central midfielders, because Nunez, like I said, is 25, alongside Sargent, who's scoring goals. So maybe we don't actually sell Josh Sargent, but we get someone in alongside him, or just lower rated, because we can't go over 70 overall. As the bench still looks okay, we've got a left back on there, but I'm not too worried about that at all. It's just the positions on the field we really need. As money-wise, no danger, 15 million. Now, that's not much added to the 8 million we had already, but the striker I found, well, he actually could be expensive, because he's actually playing in Europe and he's firing a lot of goals in real life. In for Monaco. Oh my days, his ratings really flourished. Mika Biereth at the start of the year was only 68 rated, but now he's a 79, and I was completely unaware of that increase. Okay, so maybe if we can reach the Premier League this season, we can go again for a position there. And this is actually where it gets tricky, because the players I actually had in mind are very attacking minded, and we have took that away from our formation. But I am going to go for this man, and this man only, Alvaro Montoro. Or not only, but I'm not going for Parmo as well. I just want to keep the Argentinians to a bit of a minimum, go elsewhere, as maybe this man could be a bit more like it, FD Akman. He's actually too defensive, but if we could balance one of them players out, we'll have a centre mid on the books, and still we've not spent all our money. A little bit of change left over, because we'll have to sign some decent contracts up to our players, as the next player is Ibrahim Baye, a 17-year-old from PSG. Could you call this man the next Mbappe, because he is playing in his position, and he is now joining Norwich on a massive 5-year deal, which I am thrilled about, but I'd be even more thrilled if we could change these players and grow them, as Biao doesn't change as a centre-back. Still 73 rated, good for this division, as Akman goes to a 70 in the midfield. So if it was a 70 already, we couldn't have signed him. An amazing change as Forsen, he goes to a 75, and Oscar Shiwadzu goes and sticks at a 65. And then position changes leave us looking like this at the end of the current season. Only 1 player under 75 rated, and that is Akman at the moment. Still only 20-year-old himself. Nunez is 26, Josh Sargent 26 as well, but everyone else in this team is super young, including bench players. As you can see, we've got Gibbs, who's almost a 75. We've got 2 brilliant non-face wingers, and Kranak, a decent backup striker. I think if we do sell Sargent, he should be pretty much okay on his own, as look at the growth in the players. We've got a +8 in Amakwa Forsen, and a +6 in Akman himself, who's done brilliantly. They're helped out by position swaps, and Shuatu I actually did loan out to Tranmere, improving. Only 20-year-old, he can enter the bench. Next season, if we do have room for him, hopefully we've made it to the Premier League. With this squad, a lot of goals. Johnny Rowe coming back and scoring a lot, and Sargent with the most. A lot lot of assists. Would be hard to sell him when we do reach the Premier League, as I was running out of options under 70 rated, and we do go up. It is literally joint with Nottingham Forest, and I think we've gone up on alphabetical order, and we've still got both NO at the start of our names. That is a very close title race. We have beaten Nottingham Forest by the third letter in the team name, which I don't think has ever been done before. If it has, let me know in the comments below. Or the closest it's ever come, as we did lose in round 5 of the FA Cup to Aston Villa and round 3 of the Carabao, losing on penalties to Spurs. Unlucky, and at least we still will have a derby day next season, with Ipswich Town winning the playoffs and Bournemouth suffering a huge defeat. Crazy to believe they've been relegated and not got promoted again, as £53 million in the budget for this season's Wonder Kids. And with Bournemouth in the division below, I'm pretty sure they'll have a lot of them, such as one of my favourite players on the game, Eli Jr. Krupi. Alex Scott is another good one, Dango Ouattara, but I think for this rebuild, I am going to say no to them. I want to go with some more hidden gems, apart from that man I mentioned previously, because you know I absolutely love him. And let's be honest, before he went to Monaco, he basically was an Arsenal reject, playing at Sturm Graz, and I'm wasting no time at all for BRF, as the Danish Wonder Kid striker comes and joins the Danish manager of Norwich. Yes, Hoff Thorup, I think his name is. I'd never heard of him before. He actually joined Norwich, and that has actually depleted our budget, but now signs up front who's 25, BRF, and Jurasek. Then we've got Nunes, who I want to get rid of, but do we actually get rid of him this season? Get someone new next to Akman, because we could sell 2 huge players now. To force in a little bit of money, sure, we could get another player for 8 million, but I'd rather not try and squeeze deals. I'd rather try and get the best possible options. And if that requires selling our big guns, I'm going to go ahead and sell them. Josh Sargent, the first one out of the door. We knew this was coming, but 60 million. Selling for more than we just bought Biereth for, but this is an absolutely stupid one. No idea how we've got that much, but 51.3 for Marcelinho Nunez. Yes, he did help us get promoted, but that is money I will take every day. Of the week is now 108 million. That could literally define our season, or seasons to come, if we can go out there and find some really good Wonder Kids. Starting with one who's not too hidden, but he hasn't left Germany. Another Scandinavian player, Hugo Larsson, 22-year-old. It's funny because he's literally replacing Marcelinho Nunez, but he's higher rated, younger, and actually cheaper on the whole. And he's going to be joined by Mate Smets, a youngster from the Pro League in Belgium, who is joined by another Belgian player though, Chelmsinde Talby, the winger? If I've said his name right, as he doesn't even make the bench, does the last one, Talby? A very strong bench with Cordoba on it, but now let's talk about the first team again. Look at this, everybody gone from being over 70 rated to now over 80 rated, apart from Akman, who's playing chase up a little bit, due to him being out of position once we started. As an incredibly good player with only 2 years left in him is Borja Sainz. 26-year-old, we've got Larson improving, Jurasek, Biereth, Ramon Cardoso. He is literally insane. He's only 20 as the Argentinian, and I'd never heard of him before doing some research for today's video, as most goals have come from our wingers this season. Still trusting Biereth because he's a Champions League quality striker who takes Norwich to Champions League. Oh my days! I cannot believe this. This is the best step up I think we have literally done all season. We've gone from the Championship to Champions League within 1 calendar year. Over Brighton, I mean, yes, we had a really good squad, but one player wasn't even 80 rated. United fall off, and Ipswich, bottom of the league. Our rivals for today, as in one game we beat them 5-0, and in the reverse one, however, we actually lost at the start of the season. Less said about that, the better, though. We're going towards the Champions League, and Leeds United FA Cup win. That means they're going to be in Europe. A lot of real-life Championship teams going to European competitions, as we were beaten by a Championship side, Sheffield United, in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. And the Carabao, we reached the semis alongside Watford, who put up a better fight. Then again, we drew City and were hammered by them, as do we stand a chance in the Champions League this season? I mean, Bayern Munich are down there. Manchester United or even in the UCL. Been a while since we could say that, as where do we actually improve this team though? Because I'm looking at Johnny Rowe, he's 24. He wasn't here at the start. Maybe another midfielder, maybe even more defenders, because you can never have enough, as I can't get enough of this first team. And this just keeps getting better. Now, we've got to still sign some hidden gems, but they might have grown in this save, as our budget's definitely grown. £120 million as a lot of objectives, but what is it in Europe? I forgot to turn the growth ones off, and we're expected to reach a semi-final. Not the easiest of challenges, as one thing I've actually played down is tactics. Now, we have got into Champions League without actually moving them, but just a slight tweak. I'll leave the wingers as they are, but I want Biereth with more goals, so he's off attacking forward to Poacher, hopefully to score some, as that team looked a bit mishy-mash, but we are definitely going to mash straight into our next signing. And actually, pause, that sounded a little bit weird when I said it. As with Jurasek in the team, the Czech Republican wonder kid. Being here from the start, I want to gather him a friend to play alongside him, or just behind him, Martin Vitic at Villarreal. We had this guy recently in a save, and I've got to say, he can turn world class. It's a lot more than we paid in the last save we actually used this defender, but still I do trust the process. We do need our centre-backs. He replaces Bao, and he can go onto the left-hand side. That is very nice. As now the bench is very nice. Yeah, sure, we could do with another backup keeper, and maybe another midfielder over Gibbs, because when you look in the team as well, Akman, I do think he'll come good, or better. But I spoke on this man as well, Jonathan Rowe, who I want immediately out. So I'm going to trust Akman just for now, and I'm going to get rid of this man who wasn't even here when we started the save. Out he goes, and he's got a big move to Bayern Munich, who we just rebuilt using youth, £100 million, or roughly roundabout that, as we do have a decent player to step straight in Talby. Very good. And I think that gives me an excuse to try something. As you can see on the bench, we've got wing cover in Shuaratu and Montoro. I'll change Mbaye to a left mid, and then we literally just need a right mid. However, I'm thinking Forsen onto the right, because initially he could be a right winger, allowing me to get one of my favourite players. And yes, I'm counting him as a wonder kid, Roger Fernandez, who I've signed plenty of times this year already. And you can see by the amount of money we're paying, he's definitely grown without our supervision. I honestly love this man right here. He's only 22-year-old, man, and he's already at an 88 rating. Braga, I'm pretty sure last season we're in the Europa League. It might have even been UCL, so he should have a bit of experience, as Ramirez, Cardoso still growing. His stats are sensational, like Biereth, like Signs, because them two are now 90 overall, and look at our bench even. Apart from the striker and the goalkeeper, which we pretty much could buy next year, it is all over 80. This team should do very well for itself in England, as Champions League never in doubt. I thought we would push for the league, and 81 points is somehow or sometimes enough to win it. Not on this occasion though. Manchester City go and do it. We've got Chelsea down there again, Man United and Spurs. Replicating real life a little bit there, as round of 16 lost to Southampton, who I'm pretty sure has a manager in real life giving up on the team. Not gonna lie, I haven't seen him smile once, Zurich, as in the quarterfinals, or round of 16 again, sorry. We lost to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, but that's not where our focus is. Milano winning the actual thing, and oh dear. Oh dear, right, we had to go through a playoff round. I guess our players are inexperienced, and another team, how unlucky to go into the playoff rounds and still end up drawing Bayern Munich. That's horrible, but at least we do have some really good players at the club, like Biereth growing by 5, Signs growing, Fernandez by 6. We signed him at an 82, what? I thought it was actually higher. I paid the release clause for the man, and at least he is scoring from left midfield. Now. What the heck do we even do to improve this squad? I mean, the midfield with Akman could potentially be improved, same as Schmetz at the back. Then we've got a lot of players on international duty, so you know they are good enough. And these players that I've highlighted are good enough. But still, if we are to win the Champions League, we need to go out for some big players. I'm talking world class, but also kind of unknown. Ones that have grown to the levels of Biereth and Borja Sainz, signs, who is running out of contract that will definitely need renewing. We've got Roger just behind him. We've got Jurasek here from the start. And we've got no one over the age of 27. A couple of reserve players, plus Borja himself is now on the edge, same as Cordoba. So is it a left winger we really need? As I have gone ahead and signed contracts, you can see the increase in pricing. 28 million on the deals. For players, it is scandalous, but these players should get winning because we're expected to win the Champions League, expected to win the Cup and the League double. So let's get out signing, and I think I know one Belgian centre-back. There isn't actually Smets, who I thought would be doing a lot better. Zeno de Bast, he could play CDM, but them stats don't look good enough. I'm going to have to pass on one of my old favourites because I'm definitely not paying a release clause for it. I'd rather get somebody worthwhile, and there is somebody who played with Biereth over at AS Monaco. We have Elise Ben Seguir, and 50 million was offered. He was evaluated at 44, I think, and they've rejected it. So Ben Seguir won't actually be coming. Saving him for another rebuild, as now let's just go for a big player, shall we? One we definitely should be landing, it is Pau Chubasi. A little bit more well known, and I still might be saying his name wrong. Hopefully I've not. And this is because we couldn't get any of our backup options, or options I would have rather had than him, because we did get rejected on Debast, or he just wasn't hitting quality. As Akman, I think he has to go now. Then again, that being said, Ante Cernak I've always trusted as a backup. He's 24-year-old, only 79 rated still. If we could get a striker in, better than him, a little bit unknown. Like this man, I've just been searching in the rest of the world category, and Kauna Elias just literally looks like the next Endrick unknown, because we all know the story of Endrick. He's literally bench warming at Real Madrid, and this man, oh, he's actually too important to the club. I guess we'll have to go to another option. Augustin Roberto, the second player this save from Argentina, and he looks doubly decent. As there he sits on the bench with some very good centre-backs. I should have probably gone with another keeper. We've had Barden the entire save. And he's even 28, but I really do like that bench a whole bunch. And then the first team, wow. Just look at our top three of the field. Signs, who I think if we don't win the Champions League has to go, then Biereth at a 92, Jurasek at a 90. Akman's come on leaps and bounds, but actually Krabasi is going to come out the team because Schmetz goes straight back in there. Really rate him. As you can see, the best at the squad. Growth, Biereth, +2. Then we've got Signs, +1. Ramirez Cardoso, +3. One of the best hidden gems I think I've ever seen in career mode. As the top scorer this season, of course, was that man Mika. Can you believe Arsenal let him go? I think it was for free to Sturm Graz. And when you look how much they need a striker in real life, it blows your mind, as we will be in the UCL next season, stopping Manchester United getting back in there. However, Man City's points were massive, so we couldn't really overcome them, but we do overcome the Geordies to win, I believe, our first major honour, the FA Cup. Get in there, showing we can win knockout trophies if we very much need to, as Manchester City go and win the Carabao Cup still. Out in round 3, the first round we enter, to Nottingham Forest, wanting a little revenge for what of course happened when we were in the Championship together. As 11th, we won 5 games, we did lose 4, but then again didn't concede many goals, and this is it. When we've got a Danish manager, playing a Danish team is quite good, because he should know Copenhagen, and he does enough to beat them, as then we go and beat Real in the round of 16, booking our spot in the quarter-final, and we do beat Bayer Leverkusen. To then draw Olympique Lyonnais, we really got lucky with that one, to face Barcelona, but if you did see, they beat Arsenal 6-1. A team that finished above us on goal difference in the league, so we know it'll be a challenge, but a challenge we should be up for, apart from we don't get to use Larson. So what I've done is I've tinkered around. Forson is now in the midfield, and we're going to play this man that's never been in the starting 11. It is Talby, trying to beat Ansu Fati to the ball, and he does. Why is the referee blown? Nothing wrong in my books, but now we need to just play on, get that out of us heads. Lamine Yamal and Ansu Fati actually working in the team together. Pedri, of course, is good, and we know they can cause threats. Ramirez Cardoso there to block out the dangerous Roger Fernandez, one of my favourite players in the game. Why did we not get a runner there? When we needed one as now, Talby goes backwards. FK Akman into Mika Bieref, the tall man. If we can whip some crosses into him, he should do well from them. Really good tackle. I've got to be open and honest when I see one, even if it is the opposition making it. As Mika, that's good footwork. He looks for force and gets the ball back. Mika gives it out to Roger. He does have that acceleration of pace. And now Biereth is in the middle. He's more central. It's a terrible header, but the ball straight back to him from Alisson's mistake. Mika Biereth, the rejected man from the team they just beat 6-1, scores an incredibly lucky goal, we've got to say, as that rebound was criminal. Yes, I think we've got the better Brazilian keeper in Cabral now, I've got to say, as Roger Fernandez, that acceleration of pace has somehow won us a free kick. Borja signs the original player. I don't think I'm yet to score one this year. It comes off the wall of Tell. Should have done a lot better with that, actually. Close to finding a gap there as now Tabley into Jurasek. The Czechman's time to cross. He's got a playstyle plus as well. You love to see it as now F.A. Akman needs to get the ball out wide now and Borja signs into Roger. Now what can Roger do again? I mean, he's having a Rauho on toast. Surely he's an old man by now. Just a little ball roll inside. Oh my days, it's gone in the goal. That is one of the best goals I've ever seen. This little man, if you're playing FC25 as a casual, just buy him. Or even if you're not, but you do have a decent budget. Braga, Portugal, put it into the search bar. And you've got yourselves an extremely good player, as Vitic is also a really good centre-back. Used him a couple of times as now signs. That's a foul, referee. Thank you very much. Toying with Barcelona now, but hang on. There's a bit of a counter-attack. Lamine Yamal. Roger, he can defend and he can attack, but he's actually lost the ball again. And it is into Tino Reinders. Here he goes, attacking experience. Mika Biereth, he really needs a goal. It's a brilliant passing to him. He's going to go for range. 3-0 would have been really nice as Jurasek gets the ball in the middle. That is a really quick pass onto Forsen. If we could try and score a long shot, referee, that's got to be a handle of the ball. But still, referee, please blow that whistle. Yamal on the attack. A brilliant tackle, Ramirez Cardoso. And that is the end of the game. Norwich City win the Champions League. Fantastic work from Mika and from Roger on the left-hand side to go ahead and claim a trophy as the Brazilian, or no, he's Argentinian, the defender nevertheless, who's an absolute superstar, will lift it into the night sky. I believe we're at the Hertha Stadium. I may be wrong on that, but what I'm right on is this challenge was very fun. So let me know another one in the comments below and click here for more videos.